Yeah, look, it is good to be back. It was a great time away, and the week we went, it was good. And then I noticed that this new tropical storm, Bertha, is that we discovered this morning, is coming, and now it's closed all the beaches where we were. So it's like missed the Canadian wildfires and missed the tropical storm. I think God was smiling on me to give me a good week there, and it was good. I think it was 2,700 miles we drove over that time, but we are a car family road trip. So it's a good thing. But nice to be back and jumping back into questions and answers and wanting that to be an ongoing thing this month. This week we shift to kind of words and communication, because I think questions and answers obviously are about words, but how they can be powerful to alleviate some things in difficult situations. One of the exercises this week, if you saw the email, there's a word cloud there about a bunch of words related to relationships. And I have two guesses on that. And one is, if you can spend time thinking, which of my most precious relationships, what makes them good? My guess is a lot of those words that exist in that word cloud validate why that relationship is important to you. And if one is lacking, my encouragement is to start using those words more or trying to live them out more, because I think those will help improve. So here we are showing how words applied in relationships and communication really help distress lessen. And I think that's what this week is about, this month is about, questions and answers, how they alleviate distress. So recapping the email on Monday, there were four that kind of came to mind in this context of relationships. The first was, how do I let go of hurt? How do I get through that? And I was just starting it off saying it's not instantaneous. You can't just flick a light switch and turn it off and not be hurt anymore, but encouraging people to have the right timeline of gradual process, making ongoing efforts, and hurt can dissipate. So that was the first one. Secondly, someone was asking, how can I decrease arguments between family members? And when it comes to words, we know arguments can be fueled by them. So two words that I offered as an answer: self-control and intentionality. Because if you can be self-controlled and intentional about words you're expressing, it's hard for somebody to argue with you. If someone's trying to argue and you're not willing to engage, it means the discussion can stay manageable. But the moment you start losing self-control, the moment you start realizing what words you're saying, there's a lot of regret of actions and words that will come. So self-control and intentionality. Another question was, how can I get the energy up to be around people? I didn't hear that as an introvert extrovert question. I hear it as a capacity and just the energy it takes to be around people. So suggesting that there are scripts that people can use. That if you have a prepared set of words in your mind that you can use to answer certain questions, you probably can navigate any group of people that you come around. So I think most people ask one question, maybe two. Rarely do they ask three questions in a conversation of someone they don't really know. So three scripts go really well. But if someone is asking a third or fourth question, the mic picks me up more than it will any of that, whatever's happening. What's that? There we go. Back and get my focus back, right? Just if you have those scripts and you can answer it and already have a plan. And when you have a plan about what to say to people, it's much easier to enter into those interaction patterns or parties or whatever else. And then finally, a question that shows up a lot in the counseling office is, how do I deal with this friend who moved away? You think your best friends will be able to withstand, 100-mile move, 1,000-mile move, but it's really difficult to do that, and it does shift it. So there's a loss there, and people wonder, because it's an ambivalent thing. You're excited about this new opportunity somebody has or a stage of life they're in where they move away, and it's really good for them, but you're left behind, and it's really hard for you. So I just encourage people to say, like, look, it took time, intention, transparency, some risk taking, some real genuine hospitality, and those relationships were built. So trust that process again and start investing the time in some other relationships that you already have. So thinking about words, it was just this opportunity to really study words and think, what are some unique aspects about the words we use in the English language? And came across this website that highlighted a few interesting ones for us. I'll even use my phone on one to have, here, I'll just start with it. The longest word in the English language is 45 letters long. It's the scientific name for a lung disease. Now, I've avoided it all morning, but since I'm recording, I've queued it up here on my phone so it can be on the on the recording, but here's what the word is.
The longest English word is pneumono-ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis, which has 45 letters. It describes a lung illness. You can break it down into parts: pneumono, ultra, and microscopic, silico, volume CA-no, and coniosis.
Wow. So if any of you are going to go into the medical field and want to study lung diseases, good luck, because I had to have that do that, or else I wouldn't be able to speak the rest of my time this morning. Let's see. The pangram is a sentence that contains every letter in the English language, right, of the alphabet. Do any of you know what that sentence is? That's right. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Priorities, right? You gotta have this fact. Pull that one out at parties. Most adults know between 20,000 and 35,000 words. So keep those word of the day calendars going if you think you don't know enough, and try and catch up with really smart people who know 35,000. More people in the world have learned English as a second language than there are native speaking ones, which is very, very interesting given the people who know 2 or 3 languages. A new word is created every 98 minutes, which is about 14 words a day in total. Only one word in the English language has the letters X, Y, and Z in order: hydroxyzine. It is a medicine that's used for sneezing and anxiety. That's where it comes across my office that way. And then finally, the word whatever consistently ranks as the most annoying English word. Okay? So that brings us to our question of the day. What is your most favorite or least favorite word? Is it whatever, or is it something else? Most favorite or least favorite word? Had some good answers through the day so far. Ointment? Okay. Everyone pay attention to that. Bill, pay attention to that. Good enough. Thanks for the honesty. That's good. Anybody else? We kind of fell into some. I mean, I said my favorite word last week was seafood, because there wasn't a day that went by that I didn't enjoy some seafood on the Gulf. So that was good. But the words that were winning this morning had to do with corporate events. So think about icebreakers. Least favorite word for lots of people. Group work, right? Breakout session. Those kind of things, right? You just in service education. There we go. So we all have them, right? Favorite and least favorite words as it goes forward. Maybe a more serious question is this one. What do you think are the hardest topics? What's on that list of things to communicate about, where you don't want to use any words? You don't want to talk about it, and maybe our culture embraces the same thing. What are some of those no-go areas that get really tricky? Death, grief was mentioned earlier today too. Yeah. Difficult. Usually politics and religion lead that list, generally. Grief, those kind of things. Maybe some work topics do, because people don't want to talk about work in general when they're away from it. But what I'm suggesting today is that at some point in your daily routine, weekly, monthly routine, or in your support network, you will have to address any of those topics. Whether it's grief or unexpected loss, there'll be there's always a political season that's going on that brings up something. I mean, politics is governance, but it's about things that affect us every day. So you can't go through life and not be affected by something in government or in the news. So it has to come up. And as you've heard me say, there's events that happen in people's life that take them to existential and religious themes. So you have to be able to talk about some of these things. And remember what I said earlier, self-control and intentionality really help navigate those situations better. So some final comments here about why words are really important in these dialogues. First is, when you have a passion for life, if you can't explain that and clarify that for people around you, it's going to be really hard to have them support you in that process. The more you can understand it for yourself and explain it and cast that vision for those people in your support network, the better it will go. The less questions you will get, the more help, the more answers you will get, because people want to come alongside. This is a popular one in the counseling office where I like to say, if you don't know what you think or feel, how is someone close to you going to know what you're thinking or feeling? Really goes back to the heart of emotional awareness, that if you can use words to express what you're thinking or feeling and let others know, it's much easier to have those relationships thrive. If you don't know what you think or feel, you can't be mad or disappointed at somebody else who can't figure it out with you because they don't know where you're at. And then finally, the power of words in communication really, I think, has to come down to stress relief and making people feel better. Because if someone doesn't feel heard, if they don't feel acknowledged, if they don't feel appreciated, their distress level, their tension inside them goes way up. But the moment they start to feel understood, heard, acknowledged, appreciated, their stress level comes down. So that's the power of where words really come into play with communication and relationships. So if you can use those to understand, appreciate, and really lift people up around you, it's going to go much better for them, and you'll experience the same thing when they do it for you. So that's week 3 for us, as we've talked about questions and answers. Next week, I'll kind of steer in a direction about some clues and some information about where we'll go the rest of 2026 as we think about the fall after summer, and what Bill and I have been working on are some other things that are just developing. So good to be back. Nice to see everybody. Nice to hear that the door is open and fresh air is out there. So enjoy a much more comfortable workout. Thank you very much. All right, Bill.
I think everybody can get a barbell set up in the rig.